Welcome. In front of me I have the brand new iPhone 14, and today I will go over unboxing along with a quick look at the specs and just a personal opinion of just this device in particular, along with one more that iPhone just produced. So anyway, let's just get started. So peeling off, we do have again these nice little peel tabs. I do actually like them. They're effing amazing when it comes down to unpacking things. It makes it so simple and nice. Now once you pop it open, obviously you have the phone. So here we get our little baby blue. What is the actual name of this color? So it is, where the heck is the color? It's just blue. Well, that's disappointing. From a company that came up with like jet black and other colors, we have just blue. Okay. So in here, paperwork, stickers, and charging cable. I'm not even gonna bother taking it out. Probably you already know that we don't get a charger. I think at this point it's just common knowledge with iPhones. And when you unpack it, you are going to be introduced with the display and a hideous notch. Because unlike the other versions of this phone, the higher model, for instance, like the Pro, you get an island. Still, there is an obstruction on the screen, but at least they managed to make it fit with the entire aesthetic of the device. And even though I hate it, I do have to say that it is so well implemented that it just kind of works. I would prefer to have a completely unobstructed display, but I guess you get what you get with iPhone. But here you just get a repeat of previous year's model, and I mean that in like the general sense of everything almost here. Now, one thing that I'll point out, because Apple is the second company to do this. The first one was Samsung with their Fold 4. Fold 4 was basically a slightly improved Fold 3. They did make one good thing. They improved it actually. Apple decided, nah, F that. Our customers are absolute idiots and we're just gonna make the same phone twice. And now just to clarify this while I'm saying this, if you're not sure, between the iPhone 13 and 14 there is very, and I mean very little differences. Most certainly not worth picking up a new phone, and most certainly not paying premium for the fact that this device is new. So if you can get a iPhone 13 at a discount, go for that instead of this one. Now to quickly go over the specs of this specific one, I'm gonna just light up the screen just so you can see. So the screen right here is 6.1 inch display, 1170 by 2533 pixels, which puts it at about 460 pixels per inch. Pretty decent display, to be honest. It doesn't support any kind of high refresh rate. Bummer. It has a Super Retina display, which is basically just an OLED display. Peaks at 1200 nits, typical brightness of about 800 nits. Has, again, hideous notch. And that's basically all for the display, like worth mentioning things. Now when we flip it over, we have a dual camera setup. So both of those are 12 megapixel wide and ultra wide sensors. That's it. And at the front, in that hideous notch, we get a 12 megapixel, again, wide sensor. With those cameras you can shoot at 4K 60 frames, front and back, which is really nice. Probably the back one will be a little bit better suited with probably, let's see, do they have any kind of image stabilization? Yep, they do have optical image stabilization. So yeah, the wide sensor does have image stabilization. The front one will not. At least not, or maybe it will. Yeah, it does have some PDAF, so it does have some kind of stabilization, but it's going to be software based. Now one more thing that I'll mention right now while I'm holding this device. I did unbox the Pro, like I did point out before. And one of the key differences that I feel right now, because I think the size is about the same, this phone is much lighter. You can, like, this feels kind of like paperweight compared to the 14 Pro. So that's something that I just wanted to point out. just feels super light compared to the other one. But anyway, let's just continue. So, in terms of the internals, we're looking at a Apple A15 Bionic chip with 6 gigs of RAM, 3279 milliamp hour battery, and no charger, obviously, but the device charges with non-disclosed charging speeds. So apparently it charges to 50% in 30 minutes. That's advertised, though the same kind of speeds were advertised for the iPhone 14 Pro. So it's something that will need to be checked to actually hold Apple accountable for this, because they never really disclose kind of important stats, to be honest. And we also have a MagSafe wireless charging at 15 watts, and yeah. So with that being said, now I'm gonna just point out a massive elephant in the room, because it's taking so much space that it's unbearable. So iPhone 13, completely viable device over this one. If you can get a discount, considering it's now a last gen model, it might be on sale. And the only differences between those two is that it has titsy bit smaller battery, and we're talking about like really minuscule of like 30 milliamp hours. That's not noticeable. And we do have, instead of 6 gigs of RAM, 4 gigs of RAM. We have still the same processor, the same display kind of software. We don't get any kind of benefits over any other. So if you don't mind having a couple seconds a lower battery life over the other one, because that's probably what it would equate to, and 2 gigs less of RAM, and just to point out, iPhone is really good at managing applications in terms of like how it deals with RAM and apps running from it. You won't really see much of a difference. Both of those devices will probably, in terms of like normal speeds, run exactly the same. So there's really no point to going for this specific device. In my opinion, it's completely, it has no validity to actually exist. It's not improved. They didn't even change the processor in here. So yeah, go for the probably 13 if you can get it on sale. If you can't, and the prices are basically the same, then at that point, maybe look at the iPhone 14. But again, if the 13 is cheaper, that's probably a better option to go for. So anyway, with that being said, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.